Hello 585ers and welcome back from your week off last Thursday. This is your weekly preview for the last day of February, Thursday, February 28th. Crazy. This will be the beginning of a probably two-class set. We are looking at something that has become extremely important out there, and that is the Google Classroom. It fits into Michael's ideas around the ubiquitous classroom. I think that what I like about it is that it is such a tight fit with his ideas that he has. I hope that if you already have a Google Classroom and you don't want to mess with your Google Classroom, if you will go ahead and create a second Google Classroom. Now, I'm speaking specifically to those of you who might be in a school where you're using Google Classroom. If you will go and use your Gmail account to log into the Google, you will be able to create a classroom outside of the school domain. And if you have never had one, well, you're going to learn how to make one. We're going to be looking at it through the lens of something called QM, which stands for Quality Matters, and it's a national set of standards for online classrooms. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time with it. It's just kind of, I'm going to show it to you. And then if you look down here at what I've done, I've tried to give you a way to pay homage to the QM standards without us having to go into a deep dive with that. But we're going to be using a whole bunch of fun tools. This redkid.net generator sign is how I make the alphabet soup picture that was up there. We're going to use a word cloud using ABC that basically will identify some core Kentucky core standards that you are going to be focusing in on for your Google Classroom. Then we're going to develop a way for students to interact with your classroom either through the Answer Garden or Padlet. You're already familiar with Padlet. Answer Garden is used a lot with high school kids because it's a way that they can actually post questions during class on their phones. The Padlet, I like the Padlet, of course, because of its rather neat interactive ability and frankly how cool it looks. Answer Garden is very much just an empty slate that you fill up with text. We're going to locate a video that from YouTube that is a part of what you're trying to build here. And then we're going to do something that I call the content commercial. And we're going to be using one of my favorite programs, Vion. And I'll show you how to use Vion to build as I'm calling it, a content commercial. In other words, you're basically giving folks an understanding of what your wonderful Google Classroom is going to be focused on. We're going to take a look then of how we can connect over 50 applications that will integrate with Google Classroom. And I'll show you how that works so you can make a nice, easy way for kids to move from one to the other without having to quit or get out and go launch another app. And then we're also going to create a Google Sites web page. And the reason why we're doing that is because with a Google Sites page, you have the ability to do all the things with embeddable code. So if you wanted to make your Padlet, the Padlet in your Google Classroom would just be a link. But if you put the Padlet into your Sites page, it can then be the full-blown Padlet like we have seen in our class. And like I said, it'll take us probably 2 class sessions to get through all this. But now we're really getting into what I think is the most interesting part of Fullen's work, and that is the idea of this ubiquitous classroom. And because the Google Classroom is pretty it is the de facto online site for JCPS, but in other school districts as well. So I think this one you're going to find very interesting and very helpful. The one thing I didn't do down here, because I'm going to jump into it when we get our thing built, is we're then going to go back and revisit the whole idea of the Google Drive. We're going to revisit some of the features of docs and slides that may not be familiar to you, that allow for an awful lot of universal design for learning application. That's one of the reasons why I really like what's going on in the Google Classroom and the G Suite, is the ability that we can actually see application of the universal design for learning into this ubiquitous classroom that we are going to build. I look forward to seeing you, as always. Questions, concerns, 502-457-2937. I will see you this Thursday, the last day of February.